Welcome back to the dumbest guy in the room. Today's guest is actually one of the first guys that I started training with when I got into jiu-jitsu and martial arts. So I have a lot of respect for him. I mean, he's one of the reasons that I stuck around and kept showing up. He's a great training partner. He's very, very inspirational. He's got a great story. He has a past. So in this conversation, he gets very vulnerable, shares his struggle with alcoholism, how he's pushing through that. Who's helping him, the struggles with getting through that, and where he's headed and how he's going to do it. So he's a better man, a better father, and just a better human being all around, like we all should be. So with that being said, I'd like to thank Isaiah Herring, the MILKMAN, for sitting down with me today.
My name is Isaiah Herring. I am a father and an MMA fighter.
So you got into, I'm very excited to kind of have a conversation with you because you were one of the first guys I met going to the Forge. That was the first time I've ever trained, was going there in July.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've never done it before. So that was like, that's why I said I'm 34 years old, dude, walking into an MMA gym owned by guys that I've only seen on TV fight, Yeah. Pretty nerve wracking, but I knew CJ very well, so trusted him. And yeah, so I trusted him, followed, and just kind of took his advice, and I love it now, dude. I'd be lying if I say I'm training as hard as everybody else, but I'm a father. I support my household financially, so that all does kind of come first. But MMA changed my life. So with that being said, dude, like you are one of the first people that I met. That I roll with, and just the amount of, I don't even know the word to say, but like you guys were so welcoming. I didn't feel like pressured or feel like I was, really get my ass kicked. It was kind of like you kind of played into the fact that of what I knew, for example. It wasn't like I was just, not going to come back again. Yeah. So now, I wish I would have got into it earlier. I think that's something that I could look back on, and I could regret it, but instead I'm very grateful for walking into that gym because it got my kids in there. Now my kids are training and they train hard, and my youngest is 4. So God knows where he's going to be, when he's older. And my oldest is 11, who I already see a huge difference over the year in his confidence and all that stuff. With that being said, dude, like so for you, and I know a little bit of your story. I don't know any details. I just kind of know the overview. But how did you find MMA to begin with? How old were you, and like what brought you there?
So I actually started late too. Well, late for a competitor, I should say. I started at 24 years old, and I'm 29 now. It's real. I'm trying to think of what really started it. Like so many different things started it. Like I can give like 3 different stories of how I ended up training, but the story that got me into the gym is the pandemic. Yeah, when the pandemic was happening, I was just like kind of at an all-time low in terms of like partying and doing stuff I shouldn't have. And I was watching Cobra Kai, that show.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I was with my boy, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna do something like that. Like, I'm gonna do karate or something. And then I ended up going to a taekwondo gym for like 3 months, and we were like wearing masks, kicking the bag and stuff. And I was taking online karate in my basement. And then I was like, all right, I want to spar. And they weren't sparring. I was literally a grown man in a taekwondo class with like 10-year-old kids. Like it was crazy. Yeah, like it was actually crazy. So I was like, all right, let me go to a real MMA gym. And then I went there. I went to Budo Martial Arts in Ewing for a little bit, like a couple months. And then I went to Grindhouse over in Feasterville, and they let me take an MMA fight after 6 months. So I trained under a year before I had my first MMA fight. And then once I was there, it just was like off to the races of training, ups and downs of life, dealing with loss, dealing with like issues. And like I took a lot of stuff for granted at the time. Like one thing I regret is that I didn't get active with fighting and stay active. Like I only have like 8 fights in the span of like 4 or 5 years when I should have fought like 5 times a year. You know what I mean? Because now I'm just like, I'm towards the end of my amateur career, and I wish I got more cage time. Like I always have first round fights, so I don't have that much cage time. But yeah, that's basically what got me into the sport. Just like a pandemic, being bored, partying too much, and then just being like, I got to get healthy.
That's insane, dude. I feel like the fact that Cobra Kai was what did, I'm I'm sure that there's plenty of people out there that have gotten into it a long time ago that would probably say the Karate Kid got them into MMA too, dude. Got them into the gym. It's just a wild thing because it's once you, and I'm sure you know now, but in my mind, I didn't know the difference, but there's such a huge difference between, like karate and when you get into MMA. And I've heard, again, I don't know shit. I'm very, that's why I'm the dumbest guy in the room. I don't really know I don't know anything about MMA. I just kind of have my opinions that are usually wrong, but I feel like karate, the only way it has, and it does have benefits from people that trained it, but then went and did MMA. But if you don't have any other martial art skill set, it's not really going to do anything for you in the real world.
Yeah. Maybe for like if you're athletic and you can use some of that in the fights, but like besides that, you need to know wrestling, boxing, and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you need to know
boxing.
Yeah. So you were older, pandemic came in, and you were trying to find an outlet. I'm assuming to kind of fulfill that emptiness that we all end up having, no matter what you do in life. And it did fill it. And I'm knowing your story there, it filled it. But how long did it did that start to kind of not be enough? Was there still a search for, because if you weren't taking the fights that you wanted to, or but looking back, you can say I could have did more. To me, that sounds like just I could say the same thing about my past and what I partake in. Still to this day, I look at it, dude, and I try to make sure I'm getting better. But there's usually still that you're searching for something, and that's why you're not fulfilling that thing that you want to do. Was that still there during those times, or?
Yeah, I mean, so I got into it while I was actively battling alcoholism and drug addiction, which it helped for a little bit because I got to pretend like I was normal. You know what I mean? I got to go train, and people around me, my friends even would think, or family would just think oh, he's doing great. But I was suffering in silence kind of the whole time, doing drugs before training, drinking heavily every single day of the week. Most of my beginning of my career, little breaks here and there from one or the other. I would either take a break from drinking or take a break from drugs. I would always have one of those things since I was 15 years old. And one of the worst things that happened to me was I knocked somebody out in the cage and got that high and the rush. And it just kind of my first coach said to me, you're not as good as you think you are when you win, and you're not as bad as you think you are when you lose. And when I was getting those rushes, I was 3-0 at one point and 2 knockouts and a submission. And I was just just chasing highs all the time. I was just feeling like I was on top of the world. And now that I'm older, I'm you're just an amateur. You're knocking guys out as an amateur. That means nothing. You're not getting paid. You're doing all these things when you should be being a better father. You know what I mean? Just my priorities were all messed up. And yeah, it was to be honest, I've been in trouble as a younger man, when I was 19, 20, but it took me losing it all earlier this year to kind of make me appreciate training more and just slow everything down in life finally. I think I always got to count my days. I think I'm 84 days sober now. And that's the longest since I was 15 years old. So a lot is going on, and I'm feeling a lot of emotions, and I just wish I did this earlier. Just like training, I wish I started earlier. I wish I started this life of sobriety earlier because everything's more real now, and I just appreciate time more. I look forward till tomorrow. I know that I'm not going to wake up in situations or be in situations I shouldn't be in. It's just I don't go out anymore. I just train, and I can see the growth in my fighting. So I'm if only I was just sober when I started training, I probably would be a pro by now. A couple fights under my belt as a pro, and you know what I mean? But better late than never. Still, no, I'm not too old yet.
No, you're not, dude. And I think congratulations on the days. Um, I remember being in just almost the same position as you. I'm 9 years
Nice.
now, and I remember being, the 3 months or whatnot. And the first time I got sober, I'm like, I'm going to go to AA. I'm just going to learn how to, drink from these guys. Like they're going to teach me how to do this the right way.
Yeah.
That didn't work, obviously, because I just went right back to being an idiot. And the beginning is the same thing because you chase those highs still, even though you're not actively drinking. There's still these highs that you can chase, and the lows are low and the highs are very high. But I would say the only advice I could say for somebody that's kind of that's been sober and still pushing through that first year, focus on today.
Yeah.
Be grateful for today. You got today. Don't worry about yesterday. And try to be better than that guy, whoever you were yesterday. Because to me, brother, living in the past, when you're constantly thinking coulda, shoulda, woulda, it takes you out of the present moment. And then thinking about what could have been, like where you should be exactly where you are.
Yeah, you go crazy thinking like that.
You should be exactly where you are. There's a reason that it all happens. In the moment, you won't see it. But like you just said, if you look at your past, you can see why those things were happening to you at certain points. But in the moment, it felt like this fucking world is out to get me.
Yeah.
So keep pushing. I think that everything does have a reason. It just doesn't show up sometimes in real time. So you said you, as a kid, you were, did you grow up in Philadelphia?
No, I grew up in Ewing.
Jersey.
That's like Ewing, Trenton area, Jersey.
Yeah, you're from Jersey, right? You live in Jersey.
Yeah.
So the fact that you grew up in Jersey, how the hell did you end up at the Forge? Like,
dude, there's no MMA where I'm from at all. Like, the closest MMA gym in Jersey is the same distance over the bridge to Philly.
What's the point, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, let me go train with the big dogs in Philly because I'd have to drive all the way down to like I think the closest like real legit MMA gym to me is like Dante Rivera's, which is like 45 minutes, like an hour or something like that. So I'm like, might as well just jump over the bridge. Forge is like 20 minutes away from me.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. So I'm assuming, do you take the Burlington to Bristol?
No, I take like there's like a bridge from Trenton right into like Morrisville area, and then shoot up 95 that way.
So were you training at Martinez before?
Yeah, I trained at Martinez before.
So I guess they got a little closer to you then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See, dude, it's weird how that stuff works. But so talk to me a little bit about this. So your past, you obviously started drinking at 15, which it's not much different. Like I'm from the Northeast Philadelphia. I grew up in Parkwood, born and raised in Parkwood, and drinking, doing drugs, that kind of thing were normal at 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, I've noticed this. Yeah.
And then you take so for me, all the pain and stuff, and I was always a quiet kid, didn't talk to anybody in grade school. And then once alcohol was introduced, I was able to come out of my shell, and then I created this persona that I thought people liked, but they just like to watch my downfall this whole time. But then drinking became drinking became that crutch that I needed in order to, continue that persona, which led to more and more mistakes until I lost everything, just like you did. So was there anything specific that happened throughout your childhood that like caused you to go that route? Was it just a normal thing and it kind of just took over? Or
I think
talk about your childhood a little bit, because I feel like any fighter, unless you have an older brother named Christakis, it's kind of hard to get into fighting without some sort of some sort of story.
I think a lot of that just stems from my own behavior disorders. Like I got kicked out of multiple schools, was always getting suspended from school for either fighting or just like I loved being the center of attention. Like it
Mhm.
was always my issue. I loved like I was always a class clown. Um, I loved getting high once I started, but before that, it was like um, I grew up in a multicultural house. My father's from Africa, and um, he was very strict, and I was like just like he wanted me to go this way, and I would just go that way with everything in life. And my other siblings weren't really like that. I was kind of like the oddball in the house. I was always just doing something that I shouldn't be doing. I was always getting into trouble, and then I started like I always tell my kid's mother like I don't want our kids to be put like I don't want them to think that they're bad kids. Because once I thought I was a bad kid, I was like, all right, I'm a bad kid. And that started with like in kindergarten, they used to sit me like in the lunchroom. I used to have to sit at a table in the corner, and I'll never forget that. Like there's so many things in my childhood and at a young age, but like that's one of the things that really stuck with me. Like I used to have to sit, and all the kids were behind me, and I'd have to sit facing the wall, and it was like called the orange chair, and I would sit in the orange chair, and I remember just thinking like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why am I in the orange chair and everyone else gets to eat? Like, and that's at 5 years old. And then that's little things like that they do to kids. It makes you think like, all right, like I'm the bad guy. I'm going to be the bad guy and like go back to class and just act a fool and just gotten. I shared on another podcast. I got knocked out in 6th grade in front of the whole school, based off of something so stupid. But this kid knocked me out. He was an older kid, a little bigger than me, and it was literally the entire school saw it happen and dislocated my jaw, gave me a crooked smile for the rest of my life, basically. That not a lot of people know that's where it came from. But I just always like felt like I had to prove myself to everybody because I was just like, you've met me. I'm not a small guy by any means,
Nope.
which is crazy because I was the smallest kid in my grade, every grade. I was like super undersized for some reason as a kid, so I was like always the small kid, and so I always felt like I had to like prove myself. So it was just like becoming a fighter, and always like before I actually started training, like I always knew I could knock people out because I've done it before training, and like I was always looking to get into fights. I loved the feeling of knowing you were fighting after school, like knowing like, all right, when we walk home, I'm gonna fight, or when I get back to my neighborhood, I'm gonna go fight this kid. Like I used to love that pre-fight like rush, and I had an older brother that was very involved with my rowdiness and fighting around the neighborhood and doing stuff too. So it was just like fighting was normal for me, you know. Like I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry I'm talking like this. I got like my allergies are acting up like crazy
No,
right now. It's annoying.
you're good, dude. You're good. No judgment on the sniffles. A lot of the one I did. One of the first ones I did after Chris, dude. I didn't know it at the time, but I was feeling like shit, and I just did it. And next day, dude, I had the flu. I was dying, but when I rewatched it, I was like, dude, I sound like complete shit here. But so growing up in so wherever you grew up is very similar to the northeast of Philadelphia. I mean, we used to fight all the time, dude. It was kind of ridiculous, which made me delusional to think that I could fight. But I was the same way, dude. I was a class clown. Looking like an idiot was like cool to me. Like I would purposely look like a fool.
Yeah.
And shit like that just to be seen, but I think I have twin brothers. So maybe it was a little bit of the opposite. My little brothers are twins, which I don't know how my mom, dealt with it, but I'm assuming it was, they needed a lot of attention. My mom needed to give them a lot of attention when I wasn't. So it could have been one of those things where I was just seeking, that I'm not being seen. That's kind of how I summed it up. And that's probably when I started acting out.
Yeah.
But the father, dude, it's funny you said that because I was just talking with Brandon Bohannon before this. I did one, and we were talking kind of about I was talking about like parenting and something I learned through parenting, and you mentioned this about your kid, but I noticed that my kids will not do what I say; they'll do the opposite, no matter what, dude. And especially boys, they're trying to. We want to feel, our ego wants us to feel like we have control, that we are, we want to be ourselves. Don't tell me who to be, what to be. And what I've realized through that is our kids will do what we do though, whether they know it or not. So just being the person you would like your son to become, or your kid to become, it goes a long way. You don't need to, it doesn't need to be said. It's like you're right now, you're taking the steps to show your son what a man is supposed to be. Right. And that goes from, it goes from how to treat a woman. So I try to treat my wife with the most utmost respect in front of my kids. That way, my daughter, that's the man that she's looking for when she's going out. So she does not find somebody like me, because I'll kill him.
Yeah.
And then my son, just so he treats women that way and he's not, seeing it the wrong way. And I really think that's the truth. They mimic what we do, but they will not do what we say. Our words don't mean shit when they notice our actions aren't fucking aligning. So keep doing what you're doing with that dude, and just keep being a better man, better version of yourself. And your son won't feel like a bad kid. But did you grow up Catholic at all?
I did actually a little bit. It was like my family wasn't Catholic, but I went to Catholic school for a little bit.
How did I know that, dude?
Yeah. And that actually is one of the religions that I or denominations, whatever it is, that I actually really liked. And I do want to look more into Catholicism the older I'm getting, and kind of show my kids that. Yeah.
Having that belief system is big, dude, especially when you got guys around you that you can see are benefiting from it.
Yeah, like Mr. Brandon Bohannon, man, that guy.
His faith is strong. And
it's contagious, like he's prayed for me before 2 of my fights now, and like he's a strong person. I think stronger than he even realizes it. Like he's young. I think he's like 24 maybe, or
yeah, 24.
Yeah, 24. And when it comes to like, I look up to him spiritually, like the way the kind of Christian he is, and the stuff that he says. Like, he definitely has a future being a leader in the church and the faith. When fighting's all done, I see him going down that path and being really good at it. He's good with his words and good with his prayers and stuff, and he leads by example. Like, he's younger than me, but I don't look at age when it comes to stuff like that. Like, he's a wise man, so he's a good dude.
It's crazy you said that, too, because I had all 4 of you guys. I wanted to try to get all you guys on here. I thought it was I streamed your guys' fights, and I was really excited to talk to you because you're the only one that did not win, which it's the toughest conversation to ever have. But watching that fight, I feel like I saw something from you that I think was necessary since the last time I seen you at Lex's wedding. So yeah. I'll talk to you about that in a second. But when I was talking to Mike and Steven, Steven's younger, but Mike's like, dude, it's so weird to say, but he's younger than me. And I'm just like, I look up to, I want to be the way he is in the ring. Like, yeah. I told him, I said, out of all them fights, Brandon and Mike, to me, from the outside, they looked the most at home from the time the whole time, just very there, very present. They were just there. And Mike's like, that's weird you said that, dude, because I looked at Brandon and I'm like, I wish I could be like him. And I'm like, from the outside, dude, like, I can't see what's running through your head when you're standing there. The only thing I can go off of is your composure, right? So, and I think, and Brandon said the same thing. You can't see none of that, man. Like, I have no idea what's going through somebody's head, but you can see there's actions that coincide to kind of say how you're feeling. Yeah. But with that being said, dude, it's just funny you said that, because Brandon doesn't. But the way that he talks to, he doesn't preach. He does it. Yeah. Just like I said with the kids, like, that shit's contagious, man. And he shared. You have to check out the podcast, because he shared some things that he's been doing it since he was a kid. He had no idea that stuff that has been happening. So, great kid, man. He was a really great addition to the gym. But anyway, for you, so always a tougher conversation when you don't get that W. And there were so many times where it looked like you had it, and then you didn't. Again, I don't know shit. All I know is when your arms are around somebody's neck, it looks like you got it, and it didn't happen. So for you though, from that, do do you think that there was something different about you, your mentality, or anything going into that fight, up in, like the walk in the cage, that was different that you can see now that you didn't see then? And what did you learn from that?
Man, so this was like my first fight all over again. Um, it was the first time I did a fight completely sober. Um, like before the fight, even usually I would smoke or drink or do something. I didn't do anything, and like Kyle we were going over game plans and stuff, and like by the minute, going like the closer and closer my fight came up, my hands were wrapped as I'm going out. I told my brother because I had him in my corner, and I was like, I don't want to say the R word on this, but I was like, I'm about to go R word mode. I was like, I'm about to go stupid, bro. Like I'm not. There's gonna be no game plan. I'm gonna go out there and start bombing overhands. I feel like my mom passed in February. I was in jail in March, and I dealt with loss and not being able to see my kids and so much since then that like I'm just grateful that the brothers let me take the fight, because I feel like they let me take the fight just to get me back in the gym. And I was so emotional going into this fight. I've never fought like that before. Walking out, I had my boys there, my kids, so they got to see me walk out for the first time. My brother in my corner. I'm up a weight class against a big, tall, undefeated dude that was like much bigger than me, and it was really, really a good fighter. And I loved it. Going back, I don't even care that I lost. I'm just glad I made that walk, because I needed to make that walk at that point in my life and just leave it all out there, win or lose. And that's why I'm thankful I'm still an amateur, because Mike and Brandon, I'm just glad that and Steven's an amateur too, but I'm really, really can't even explain how happy I am that they won, because they're pros. And that matters for their career. Like once I turn pro, I can't have these emotional fights anymore. I have to put aside my feelings and perform. I really admire how Mike was fighting possibly the scariest looking fighter I've ever seen in my life. And he was just blocking, staying calm, looking for a shot. And the first real shot he threw, he hurt him. And like I'm just like I'm watching. I'm just like, damn, that's what I should have done. Like I looked up to how he performed in there, and they both of them are so patient, and it just makes me want to fight again. I'm like, that's the thing, is like as an amateur, I didn't get hurt. We clashed heads a little bit in the beginning, and it kind of like made me go even more stupid in there. But the moment it was over and I walked back, I was like, I want to fight again next weekend, but I have to lose some weight, get back down to 170. But overall, I like that kid that I fought. I like his style. I'm pretty sure he's mixed too, like I am, and I see a lot of how I was when I was younger. When I was talking to him, and I was just like, he's gonna go far. So I didn't lose to no scrub, and I think he's gonna be good in this sport. And I'm happy with that night. I'm happy that I got to make that walk in front of my boys, my brother behind me, the Dawkins brothers there. Like it's like this sport is it's very unforgiving, but at the same time, it's like it's the way of the warrior. You know what I mean? Like it's the way of it really tests your spirit. And going back to what my first coach, Matt Netterville, told me after my first loss, you're just not as good as you think you are when you win. You're not as bad as you are when you lose. So I'm trying to find humility and like balance between those two things. When I lose, I'm not going to be too upset, and when I win, I'm not going to be like, I'm the shit. This is just making this walk makes me a better person. My kids are going to remember that for the rest of their life. And they seen that dad can go and do something that looks so tough, but like, I'm going to tell them when they're older, like walking out there and fighting is easy. What's hard is like accepting that I have a problem. Like fighting is easy, but looking in the mirror and realizing that I needed help for other things, that's the real fight. The fight is just the celebration of the hard work, but training every day, staying sober, trying to be a good dad, a good friend, a good partner, a good teammate. That's the real battle.
Yeah, man. There's just, as a man, there's so many things that we feel we're responsible for doing it, and it's so hard to know which one is the priority at this moment, and that can fuck you up when you try to mess around with that shit. This early in your sobriety, man, I'm telling you right now, you want to be the most selfish human being that you possibly can be, and just make sure you stay sober today and do something that's going to better your life. I'm not saying don't take your family and shit into consideration. Obviously, you do. You just don't do anything if it's not going to hurt. You do things with the intention to make yourself better, which, like you said, look at Brandon and the way he does what he does. He just does it, and people gravitate it towards that. The same thing for you and your family, man. You do well, your family is you're gonna see them coming with you, and they'll do better. And then as time goes on, you're able to you can shift them focuses, but your family needs you first to be sober and to find that, to find Isaiah, the milkman, before you start helping them. You can't help anybody else till you help yourself. That's the honest truth. So I love the fight world, dude, since getting more involved in it. I never looked at it I didn't look at it the way I do now, man. You guys all inspire me. Every single one of you has walked into the ring, watching what you guys go through, the battle, the mental battle, spiritual battles, physical battles. It's just so inspiring. Before I started to train, I thought I was in a good place. I was. I'm not trying to put it down. Like, I'm very. I don't have a religion. I don't call myself anything, but I'm very big in the Bible and all religious text philosophy. Like, I'm very, very, very introspective, I should say. I'm constantly working on myself. I'm very comfortable with myself. But MMA taught me a whole different. It brought me to a whole nother level, and I feel like it mimics the real world way too close to not to appreciate it. And I felt like your fight was very identical to the shit you're going through. Like you said, you lost your mom in February. Yeah. I lost my mom 2 years ago to cancer. My dad was 3 years before that. It was devastating. Sorry, it was devastating. So I know I can relate to how you felt, and the anger and the questions and the uncertainty, the what the fuck is this place? Why are we here? I can relate to that, which I can also say I can understand how you ended up in jail at some point after that, considering what you were still doing at that point.
Yep.
And then you get in this fight, dude, and all of that, you're just like, I want it out. Let me get this out. I'm so out, and you're sober, you're feeling good, and you just want to get it out, and you could see it. You could really see it. I don't think I also don't look at this. I finally understand how the fighting world works. I understand the amateur record gets basically thrown away once you become pro. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you said you should have been fighting more, so you have more cage time, you only been in one round fights and things. That's a good way to kind of look at it, man. Like, it's not a loss, dude. It was a lesson.
Yeah.
And that opponent you went up against was the exact opponent that you needed because of the way that it played out and the lessons you learned. And then Mike fighting after you, and you got to see all that. All of that mattered to help you become who you need to be to become pro, I think. So,
100%.
I tell my son, and I coach a lot of youth sports, I always say the only difference between a loser and a winner is the winner tried one more time. So you only lose when you stop. So if you don't want to lose, keep trying. That's the biggest difference. Every single person that we know that is regarded as one of the best in the world has lost way more than they won.
I always said, not to compare myself, but Kyle Dawkins was a 5-5 amateur.
Compare yourself, dude. That's your coach.
Right. And that dude is the most talented fighter I've ever trained with in the gym. And he hasn't he wasn't no college wrestler. He wasn't no star athlete in school, or he just trained and fought and then got better and better and got to the UFC, got cut, and had this resurgence. I wasn't there for his earlier run, but I just see the growth within the past year of really training with him. Like the dude is not done growing. You know what I mean? Like, and even though he's well in his prime right now, he's still getting better and still learning new things. And I think that comes from a spot of him being like humble because he's had those losses as an amateur. Like he's never lost outside the UFC, like on the regional scene as a pro. Like, and it really inspires me because I know, like, all right, I'm 29 years old. If I get my shit together and I go pro, who knows what happens? Maybe I start racking wins out. Maybe I get these different, I keep getting better or like have these little like awakening moments. And from people that I know that train with him, they're like, yeah, he just has these moments where he just got better, from just showing up every day. And then now he's a better striker. Now he's a better this, or, and now he's knocking people out. So, I'm glad I'm still an amateur. I'm glad I never turned pro because I still get to just go have, like, I really want to fight sooner than later. I got to get my weight down and train and be good. But like, I just want to fight and then go pro and just never look back and just, go all in with this. But I draw a lot of inspiration from Kyle and Kyle's story and talking to him. I know that, everything's possible if you just work hard.
Yeah, I can't wait to get him and have a conversation with him as well because he's in the little bit that small time that I've known him, he's really found a way to battle himself. Like that's what he's fighting all the time, and that's the inspiration that I get from. He's fighting his old self, and that's it. Who was I yesterday? I'm going to be better today. But he's also comfortable where he's at.
Yeah,
that's a hard balance to really master and find, and I feel like that's what where he's at, and that's what he's kind of manifesting over there at the Forge. Yeah. So it's crazy that you've been in that many fights and first round fights, and this was the first time you were sober. Yeah. In the ring, dude. So, one, I think it's crazy that you were not sober going into the ring. But now that you found sobriety and you got that fight out with the sobriety and the lessons learned, dude, I can't wait to watch you actually fight again. Because you throw me around like a rag doll. I mean, most of you guys did, but you look like a fighter. You carry yourself like a fighter. You have the ability, and I've seen you do it in the gym, dude. You're a scary dude. I think, and I think you probably agree now going through sobriety. Like the biggest fight with you is you.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've been searching for the fight outside of you for so damn long. It's hard to realize that the fight has been right the fuck here the whole time, dude.
Yeah, and it's painful, dude. It's
it's painful.
Yeah, it's a sad. It's like I've cried more in these past 3 months than I have my whole life. Like just hard pills to swallow, hard truths. Like my friends ask me like, "Oh, are you coming to the beach or doing this or that?" And I'm just like, no, like I can't. Like I refuse. Like I have goals. Like how I said, there's no MMA gyms in my area. I want to be the first to open a real fight gym in Ewing or Trenton.
I'd love to hear it.
That's because there's so many kids out here that just have they need that outlet to really fight, and there's a lot of violence out here. And I know that an MMA gym would do well here, but like I'll never own a gym. I'll never be a good father. I'll never be a good friend or teammate if I fuck up. It's just that's where I'm at in life, and I know it. Like I know it's gonna happen. From my meetings, the biggest thing I take away from the meetings is the stories of people saying like, when I went back, it was worse than before, and I know that's gonna happen with me. Like if I go back to drinking, it's gonna be worse. So like I have to tell my friends like, yo, like I don't think I can go anywhere. Like if you want to hang out, come to one of my teammates' fights. I'll be there with my other sober friends and people that are living like that wedding that I went to. That was the first thing I did after getting out. And something I really appreciated that CJ did is like when he left, he was like he was like, all right, I'm leaving soon. And like, I'm leaving. And then I realized he was kind of saying it like, we're leaving, like time for you to go too. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, let me leave with the sober guys. Cause there's nothing else here for me. And like, it can be tempting. And I was good then, but like, who knows what would have happened. So, I'm just not going out. I'm not hanging out with friends and, chilling in my basement, playing PS5 when I'm not training, playing with my boys. chilling with my little brother, watching the Knicks pull off that crazy win last night. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, that was a wild one. But life is good. Sober life it's good. You feel everything, you know, and it's all good. I just know I'll never achieve my goals if I put myself in the predicament to mess up again.
That's it, man. Just don't put yourself there. You can't. You really can't control the first thought. That's what somebody told me. You know, you can't control the first thought. The thought of picking up a drink is out of your control. The only thing's in your control is what you do with it after that.
Yeah.
And that next move is the most important move. And you know, just this podcast that I started, dude, was part of my journey of sobriety. I started it when I was kind of going. I was sober, but I was not. I was so stagnant in life, dude, that I didn't see it then. I was going fucking nuts, dude. I was so involved in what the fuck is going on in the world and trying to fix the world at that time. So the podcast was for me to get on, make myself vulnerable, and all those people that I used to drink with that I still see them once in a while. I'll call them friends, but they were, you know, they weren't benefiting my life in any way, nor was I benefiting their life. So I don't want to say it was, you know, whatever, but, you know, when I put this out there, I'm like, these people are going to see this. They're going to watch this. What are they going to say about me? They're going to talk about me, all this stuff. And it was scary. And it evolved into shit, man, I'm learning so much from these people that I'm having on here. Like everybody I talk to, I'm learning something. And somebody told me on here, one of the guests I had on, you know, he went to the same high school as me. He played his name's Nick Ferdinand, and it sticks with me. And he, you know, he probably doesn't even remember doing the podcast, but he played on the Phillies. He got drafted to the Phillies. I'm like, how the fuck did you stick with that? Like going to the same school, same neighborhood. I'm out there trying to find girls and drink beers, and you were playing baseball. Like, how did you do that? You know, and he's like, dude, just growing up, my dad told me I'm going to be the average of the 5 people I keep closest to me. So I just maintained that 4 people that were the people I wanted to be. And we all, if somebody started to not kind of continue that growth, they would disappear. And I noticed in my life that same thing. A lot of the guys I used to communicate with that were not, you know, didn't have these different dreams, they kind of just disappeared out of my life. And it wasn't intentional. It just happened. And the hardest thing for me in the beginning was I couldn't do anything either, brother. Everything I did was associated with a drink.
Yeah, so, that's the hard part. Like even like fishing, I can't fish right now because I was always.
It's funny you said that. That was like literally that. Like, what is the point of fishing if I can't drink? What's the point of going bowling if I can't drink?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean I can't go? I can't go. Like, I couldn't. I was like, what do I do? Everything has a drink in my hand. But that does fade, and you do learn, and you will learn new things that you love doing, and you'll be able to do it without the drink. But just know that people, places, and things will start to drift out of your life if they are not making that positive impact, and you just let it kind of happen, dude. And the best part about it is, like CJ, he's a prime example. When you walk away from that, dude, you feel like you might be hurting a friend or somebody. But if they're in that lifestyle still and they aren't ready yet, 3 years from now, they might be calling you.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want that. They're like, how the fuck he did it? Because actions mean more than words. So it's not an attack on them. It's CJ's helped so many people, dude, for that reason.
Yeah.
People, you know, been trapped there. He walked away and they're like, look at him, dude. It's crazy. Because if you've seen CJ when he was younger, dude, he was a little tiny little guy. You know, little headbanger, like crazy. Looks completely different. But that's what he did, dude. And he's a very good person to follow through sobriety. If you listen to him, he knows his shit.
Yeah, he's definitely someone I really look up to through this journey. I'm going to my first concert ever with him next month, and I'm excited for that.
And he's somebody that can kind of show you that life can still be lived and enjoyable with sobriety. And
he showed me
that's right next to you.
He introduced me to Diet Cokes. I never had them
Zero.
before.
Coke
Yeah,
Zero, dude.
yeah. I haven't even really. I've tried Coke Zeros, but something about the DCs, man. I just was like, oh man, he just showed me something great. Like,
He'll put you on to some things, but and again, a lot of the things he does are healthy things.
yeah,
You know, it's not he's just a good person to have by your side while you're going through this, dude. Don't be afraid to call him with shit, because I'm telling you, he's not very judgmental. He understands it. Maybe my man smoked crack and, you know, was getting gummies and bandos, you know, not too long ago. So
yeah,
he's not somebody that's judgmental, or he's done it.
yeah.
And we all been through it. So for you, man, where you're at, I think I love to hear this story. That's why I was so excited to talk to you. I was also nervous when I seen it, because like you said, you feel everything. The lows are very low, the highs are very high, and we're so used to celebrating with a trip to the bar. We're also very used to grieving, or fuck, I got fired, I gotta go to the bar. I got a promotion, I'm going to the bar. Everything's like I got to get rid of this fucking feeling, whether it's good or
it's a normal day. I got to go to the bar. You know what I mean?
Whatever. It's like, oh shit, I think a feeling's coming on.
Yeah,
let me get rid of this.
Yeah,
you know. So you have to feel it, but when you can embrace that, it does change. So I was also nervous for you when you lost, but I was also like, in my own mind, and I'm sorry to say this, but I was like, I kind of feel like he pushes through this, dude. It's going to take him to another level.
Absolutely.
Because a win might have been harder to deal with the emotion of winning.
It might have, yeah. It's almost like it wouldn't even have made sense for me to win. Like, I've gone my whole life getting away with so much, and like, it just makes sense to take some L's. Like, even like, I don't know, like after my mom passed, my dad got diagnosed with cancer a week after. I can literally list out all the things, and I'm just like, bring on the losses now, bring it all on, like bring on all the things that just suck in life. Like, let me lose this MMA fight, let me just feel these feelings, and the comeback's gonna be something serious. Like I am I'm been enjoying this week with food, like, you know what I mean, just because it's my first week out, and then after Kyle fights in the White House card, locking back in on my diet, and then I'm gonna run every day. I'm gonna be the best athlete I can be, and it's gonna be the best version of myself the next time I'm in there. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna put in the past behind me, all these losses. I'm battling court right now. I get past that one, and I see if I'm gonna have my freedom, and then I'm never ever taking anything for granted again. I'm gonna do my walks, be in nature, love my family, and just be the best I can be. Whatever life throws at me, I'm gonna put my head down, be humble, thank God that I'm alive and breathing, and I'm not on my deathbed fighting cancer or something like that. Like, it could be so much worse. Always can be. And if I have to sit, I'll sit. But if not, I'll be forever grateful. And I'm never looking back. You know, I'm never gonna go back to a lifestyle that can land me in trouble.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's a good way to look at it too. And not worrying about the outcome is probably one of the most important things and hardest things to try to do.
A big thing too is like, I'm sober, so like when I went into jail when I was like 19, I was in there going crazy because I couldn't get high or drink or anything. Now I'm just like, if I'm not tripping out over drugs or alcohol, it's just boring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because knowing you don't have your thing going into that, yeah, I'd be panicking. Like, damn, I can't get fucked up, or I got to smoke spice or something in there. Like, I don't want to do that. But yeah, if like, I already beat the battles out here right now, so just being sober, it really is talented. Yeah.
And no matter what happens, just stay focused. You already decided who you're going to be. You know, that's the most important thing. You can't control. We cannot control life. You know, you're going through something very similar to me with your parents. You know, I lost by both of them within that 4-year time frame, and it was rough and a lot of fucking emotions and roller coasters. But I had no control over any of that. Being sober allowed me to handle it the best way that I think I could have in that moment. So whatever happens on Monday, whatever happens on Tuesday, Thursday, whatever happens, and life is going to be there. Life is going to happen. The rock is going to keep spinning that we're all on. You make this. You made the decision, dude. You're going to be sober, and you're going to become a better person each day. So whether it's a jail cell or your bedroom or the forge or wherever the fuck your feet are, brother, you already decided. Remember that. You have a big future, man. CJ, even he's probably never told you this. He might be mad if I even tell you this, man. But he's been since even in the last, I guess, a little bit before you ended up getting sober. Like he texted me and was like, "Yo, dude, Milkman texted me, dude. He's getting sober." Like he was so happy for you because it's not. We know that it's not something that you can be like, "Yo, dude, you want to get how you want." We already know, like we know we're alcoholics. We're stubborn. We were there. We know it. You can't be talked into it. But we also know when somebody does need help, and it's just it's a waiting game. And
he knew too. Towards the end of my drinking out, we were in the group chat, and I was sending crazy shit I was doing out late night at the bar and stuff. So he would always be like, all right, like be careful. Like, he knew that it was I was like crying out for help towards the end.
Yeah, he knew, dude. But he was so like what I'm trying to just relate to you is like he was very he sees, and a lot of people, anybody that knows you sees the potential you have. Only you have to. It's just you that has to see it, and you're starting to see it, dude. So I think we're going to see a whole new Milkman coming out after this sobriety, brother. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for your kids. I'm excited for yourself. And most importantly, man, you have goals set. You know that you want to own that gym, and I think the reason for it is great intentions. I don't know if you ever heard me share, but I said this in each of the 4 podcasts that we went on, so they're probably, getting tired of hearing it. But Chris and Kyle, man, the reason I used to hate going back to Philly, and like I used to fucking dread it. Since I moved out here, dude, it's like I love South Carolina. I got away from all bad habits, all bad attachments that I did since I was a child, and it was just like gone. It was a relief. And I wasn't running from anything. Usually when I would do things, I'm running from something. All I was doing was trying to go somewhere where I can become who I wanted to be without having these attachments that were all over me and feeling obligated. But going back to Philly in July was different. It changed my outlook on everything. I was just not connected to the right things, and that gym being put in the neighborhood I grew up in. I mean, there's going to be a kid that walks by that gym that's going to walk in that was bound to turn out like one of the guys I grew up with, and now he's not. Now he has an outlet to put that person and grow up disciplined. It's gonna change the neighborhood. It's gonna change.
That neighborhood needs that. They definitely. There's some rowdy kids around there doing crazy shit. Dude. I always see it. I'm like, yo, these kids are wild out here. Like,
absolutely insane, dude.
Yeah,
and they're delusional.
Yeah,
just like all of us were at that age, dude. They probably walk past that gym like I fucked them up. Like just stupid as shit. But it's so good for that community, and the fact that you want to do the same for your community, dude. You know who you used to be, and that's the best person. You're the most fit to help that person. So the outlet you found that helped you, keep working on that, dude. And you'll get it, dude, because that'd be a very positive thing for your community, for your family, for everybody, for yourself. But hey, man, I'm glad to hear where your mind is, dude. You sound very good. You have a great outlook, and you have a lot of good guys surrounding you, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the last thing I just want to ask you, dude, because I don't want to keep you too long, but Sunday there's a big fight, and I just wanted to ask all you guys, like, what's your thoughts on it, dude? Because the media seems to the public, when it was first announced, was like, who the fuck is Kyle Dawkins and why the fuck is this dude at the White House? I kind of see the media shifting a little bit, or I kind of see discussions shifting a little bit. But what are your thoughts there, dude? What are your thoughts for Sunday? Because I'm excited.
Dude, I was not. So real quick, I'll say Kyle was supposed to fight Vicente Luque. Mm-hmm. And then I saw online that it got announced that it was off. And then I texted Lex and I was like, yo, did Kyle get hurt? And he was just like, it's bad, bro. Kyle got hurt bad. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, I'm like, who hurt him? He's like, bro, it's career ending. So like for like 2 days or a couple of days, I was like, fuck, Kyle's career is over. Like I feel so bad for him. And I'm working security at a bar. And then I see the White House cards getting announced, and I'm just sitting there all drunk and shit. Or was I drinking? Yeah, I was drinking. And then I look up at the screen, I just see Kyle, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, could not believe it. I was I was super happy for him seeing that. And yeah, I'm, what was the question again? My bad. Sorry, I had to tell that story.
No, I mean, your answer was like fucking perfect, dude. Because
the media talk about Kyle being on there. It's it's like they're gonna find out, and this 2.0 version of himself coming back to the UFC, like, dude, he beats us the fuck up. Like, and I know what he's capable of, and I think he can beat anybody in the world. Like, I really do think that. I've trained with a lot of good guys, and I think he can shut anybody's lights off. He can submit anybody, and it starts with Bo Nickel. It starts with that, and doing it on the biggest stage ever in UFC history. It's almost like a dream come true. But like, I know he's looking at it like it's another step. Him making it to the White House with his mindset, it's not like he won. He has to go win. You know what I mean? Like, he's just getting there isn't the big win. It's cool, but that's just a bonus to him going out there and getting the job done.
Yep. Yeah. I'm with you, man. On Uncle Donald's birthday, dude.
Yeah, crazy. What a crazy thing, dude. It is crazy. Yeah, like, I can't even believe it's actually happening. Like, and I'm so fucking excited for it.
I'm pretty hyped for it, dude. And Kyle's on it, so it makes me hyped for it. If Kyle wasn't on it, though, dude, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with us?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you go back to like the Coliseum days. Like, the Kings used to have fucking, on their birthday, would have people fighting in the fucking Coliseum and killing each other for it. And it's like, it's for America, but it's well before the birthday of America. It's on literally this dude's birthday.
Yeah,
it happens to be on his birthday.
It's a little crazy.
Hey, I love it, dude. It's fucking insane. So I love insanity a little bit, and I like to watch people go insane.
I think he's gonna steal the show. I think like I can kind of see. I have an idea how the fight's gonna play out with Bo, and I think he's gonna get the best finish on the card.
I do too, man.
Yeah, I'll
tell you. You're the first person I told this on out of you guys, but because it's kind of fucking weird. It's very weird, actually. I don't. It was well before. It was right when they announced that there was going to be a fight at the White House. And I mean, if you look back where Kyle was at that point, it doesn't even make sense. But I remember I was talking with my wife, and I'm like, I don't know why. I have a feeling that Kyle is going to be.
Dude, I said the same thing to my brother. I was like, yo, I feel
so
like
long ago.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I said the same thing.
And then my wife, she told me this wild. My wife's fucking weird, dude. I don't know where she gets. She like has these dreams that like I tell her not to fucking tell me them because it comes true so fucking often. It's just not in the same. It's not like the same person. Like, she'll have a dream about somebody's mom dying, and then it'll be like that person's wife's mom or something, but it happens way too fucking often, and I just don't want to know. So I'm always like, don't fucking tell me your dreams. I'd rather not think about it. But this one, she's like, woke up and she's like, I just had the fucking craziest dream. Like, she's like, we're at my parents' house, and then, or I was at my parents' house, and then you, CJ, Lex, and Kyle just like walked in, and Kyle had like a bloody nose, and you guys were like all hyped talking about how he's fighting somebody. He's just like, and it was a weird name, and it was she's like it ended with like an EV and however the fuck you say his name.
Yeah,
I was like, that's the name. I was like, that's fucking weird. She's like, it was just so weird. So I don't know what that was about, dude, but it was just very strange how I just feel like, dude, the world is aligning for you guys at the Forge and Kyle and everybody to really make a statement for Philadelphia, dude. And Jersey, dude. You could say Jersey. It's all right.
I mean, I claim. I always tell people I'm from Trenton area to Philly and all in between. I lived in Bucks County for a little bit, so I'm just like, in between there is my home. 95 is my home.
Nah, you can say whichever one, dude. It's all right. Everybody. Yeah. Where I live in South Carolina, people, I'll say I'm from Philadelphia, and they'll be like, "What part?" And I'll be like, "Philadelphia," and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm from like Norristown." Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
They're like Philly. I'm like, I'm from Philly, but they could be from fucking anywhere in Pennsylvania or Jersey that's not Philadelphia is where they're from all
yeah,
the time. Nobody's actually from Philly, so
yeah.
you could claim it, dude. It's all right, whatever, whichever one you want. But the Forge is doing well. All you guys are doing well. I'm grateful for all you guys to come on here, man. Your story is you're in the middle of it, man, and it's just gonna it's gonna go. I can feel it, dude, and I feel like you can feel it.
Yes, sir.
You know? So, anything else that you wanted to share, or anything else out there, brother?
No. As the story's still getting written, I'd definitely like to come back on here and update you. After my next fight or something. And
yeah, you don't have a choice, dude. I'll be reaching out to you to get you back on.
Appreciate you, brother.
I'm really excited, dude, and I love hearing growth, and it inspires me, dude. So keep it up, man.
Congrats on 9 years sober, man. Keep up the hard work. I know how that it is. So
I think next year's actually 10. I think it's July. Next month is 10. I stopped kind of counting, dude. Like I'm just sober. It's just who I am now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just regular life.
Yeah, and I think AA is extremely important. It saved my life. I stopped going. I talk about this a little bit, but I feel like I should probably just go back for other people. I stopped going because I seen this. People were going just to be sober, and I didn't get sober just to be sober. I didn't see people getting sober and getting better in life. However, it was necessary for me to get sober. So
yeah,
you're gonna grow for a long time going through AA, but there comes a point where I didn't see anybody else, and now there are guys that are doing that. Yeah, you got CJ and probably some other dudes. But when I was
you still even you just sharing that you're sober helps people. So when you still preach sobriety and a good life, that helps too. Even if you don't go to meetings per se, but going back always can help other people too.
100%. I think going back's more for kind of like what you said about having a gym in your area. It'd be more about if I could see somebody like myself back then, it may have helped. It may help me a little bit more. I don't look back and say I wish or anything like that, but I just feel like there's so many stories about people having so many years sober and they're not anymore. And I really believe that comes from making your purpose your purpose is just stay sober. As men, we need a purpose in life. We need an aim at all times. And if the aim is just to stay sober, it's like we're still not. So we're like our mind and our spirit is not actually sober. We're still fucking fighting this emptiness, and that's where I found myself. So for me, it was necessary to kind of walk away and build something. But also maybe I've said this so many times where I feel like I'm at a point where something's telling me to go back. So, getting back into rooms, maybe going through the steps again, which I still work I work myself all the time. But getting back in locked in the program, because I do have people reach out to me all the time, and I'm like, I'm not part of the program, man. You should probably find somebody that is actually actively in it. So maybe there's a call in there, dude. Maybe this was that. I told you, every time I talk to somebody, man, I have intention to learn something. Maybe that was this. That was a lesson here, dude. That's where I should be, dude. That's where I should be.
Maybe.
So, but yeah, dude, you have no choice. I'll get you back on here, man. I really do appreciate it. I will be back up there in the beginning of July, end of June for Lex's fight. So
awesome. Yeah, I'll see you there. I'll be there.
I'll see you in the Forge too. I always when I'm up there, I make sure I at least get there for one day. I'm hoping to be there all week, so we'll see. So I'll see you at the Forge, dude. Give you somebody to beat up on, and until then, man, just keep your head up, brother. I love hearing it. I can't wait to hear. Can't wait to watch your next fight and hear where you're at, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, brother.
Yep. You too, bro. Peace.